Now, we're all actors, we're all very small actors here as private citizens in what we experienced recently in 2008, the global financial crisis. All of the companies that failed in 2008, all of the banks that froze and are still frozen, not just talking about the Irish banks, the really big players, the global banks, they were all using proven and accepted risk management systems and models. All of those systems and models, in fact, were useless. They were useless then and they were useless today. That's a very, very big statement. How can I make such a statement? Well, in fact, the systems and the models they were using were fine for the management of financial risks, but they were totally wrong for the management of strategic risks. Chief risk officers back in those days were asked by their boards of directors, can we take these risks? We're entering into an era of a new paradigm, tsunami of money, cheap credit, and so forth. And the CROs said, well, if you give us more budget, we'll hire more people, better mathematicians, and yes, we'll be able to take risks more safely. The CROs, rather than telling the boards how good they were, right, rather than telling the boards how worried they were, told the boards that yes, we can take these risks safely. So the takeaway here again, it's another example of mile-wide, inch-thick policies and procedures. But the question I have here is, we have the global financial crisis, the chief risk officers who failed back in those days. We have the chief compliance officer in a company who says, we have all the policies and procedures, yet the people on the coalface don't know about them. We had the company global operation that had fundamental information. It's what we call a known unknown risk. The guy who knew the one thing down here, the information was not being communicated to the directors at a higher level. How many people do we have, do you think, in this room who fall into the same category? How many people are telling their directors and their senior managers how good they are, as opposed to how worried they are? I'm kind of mindful just now of a guy who's a politician, an Irish politician today, who was once a terrorist, and is attributed with a statement that they, meaning the British government, had to be lucky all of the time. We only have to be lucky once. And the bottom line is that, you know, nobody is lucky all of the time. And people need to think of the adversaries. The people, and I think Paul gave an outstanding presentation there in the context of the pace of change, the diversity, the entrepreneurs that are out there on the other side, these criminals.